Have you ever stopped to really think about it? How your street, your neighborhood, even your daily commute, how it actually affects your mood? Today, we're going to dig into the powerful and often invisible link between how our cities are designed and our own personal happiness.
Okay, so let's get right into it. More and more of us are packing up and moving back to cities, right? We're looking for opportunities, for that sense of connection. But here's the big question, the one at the heart of the book, Happy City. Is it actually making us any happier? Are these subways and high rises really an improvement on the sprawling suburbs we might have left behind? And look, this is not just some small, trivial question. As David Suzuki puts it, when we get serious about what truly makes us happy, it has the power to change everything about how we live in our cities. So let's do that. Let's dig into how our cities are actually designed. First up, let's unpack this core tension that sits at the very heart of modern city life. I mean, think about it. The whole promise of a city is connection. It's supposed to be this amazing engine for human interaction. But for the better part of a century, what have we done? We've built them around the car, creating these huge distances between where we live, work, and play. And that single design choice has some pretty profound consequences. And those consequences, they go way beyond just feeling happy or having an easy commute. As we're about to see, this focus on cars has created systems that are, well, deeply and systemically unfair. For decades, planning our transportation systems seemed like this really technical, neutral thing, all about numbers and traffic flows. But as the authors of Transport Justice point out, maybe fairness was never really part of the equation to begin with. On the surface, the old way of doing things seems to make perfect sense, right? Step 1, guess how many people are going to be driving. Step 2, find the future traffic jams. Step 3, plan for more roads. Step 4, build them. Super simple. And it's how we've designed cities for ages. But there is a huge fatal flaw hidden in this logic. And here it is. This is the flaw. It's a trap, a vicious cycle. It turns out building more roads doesn't solve traffic. Not at all. It just creates more traffic. It encourages people to drive more and live even farther apart. And all that sprawl creates demand for, you guessed it, more roads. It just feeds on itself over and over again. So, in this endless loop, who comes out on top? Well, it's the people who can afford to own and run a car. And everyone else, the folks who walk or bike or take the bus, they get left behind as the city spreads out and becomes more and more hostile to anyone not behind a wheel. Okay, so how do we get out of this mess? How do we break this cycle? It all starts by changing the fundamental goal of what we're trying to do. It's a pretty straightforward question, but the answer means we have to completely rethink how we get around. The solution isn't about moving faster. It's all about a concept called accessibility. Accessibility completely reframes the whole problem. The question is no longer, how can we make cars go faster? Instead, it's how can we make sure people can get to the places they need to go? Jobs, schools, grocery stores, parks. The focus shifts entirely from speed to connection. There's a brilliant analogy that makes this crystal clear. The old way, mobility thinking, is all about giving you a faster horse, a bigger highway, a faster car, so you can cover the long distances we've created to get to the well. But accessibility thinking is so much smarter. It just moves the well into the center of the village so no one has to travel that far in the first place. And the result is two totally different kinds of cities. A high accessibility landscape clusters all those important destinations close to where people actually live. In a low accessibility landscape, everything is just so far apart. Obviously, the goal is to build our cities to look a lot more like the first one. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. When we start designing for accessibility, we're not just making our cities more convenient or efficient. We are actively designing them for justice. This is a game-changing idea. A just transportation system isn't about giving the wealthiest residents hyper access to everything. No, it's about making sure that every single person has a good enough or sufficient level of access to be able to fully participate in society. The goal is to set this baseline, this sufficiency threshold, represented by that dotted line. The moral mission isn't to push the people already way above the line even higher. It's to lift everyone else up to the line. It's about raising the floor for everyone, not just raising the ceiling for a select few. So, what happens when we put these ideas together? when we use the principles of accessibility and transport justice as the blueprint for our communities? Well, we get the happy city. It turns out that a city designed for fairness is also a city that makes people measurably happier. And it makes total sense, right? When places are close by and getting around is easy and pleasant, we spend less time stressed out in traffic and more time with our friends and family. We bump into our neighbors. We have more of those random social connections that are really the bedrock of a happy life. Justice and happiness, it turns out, are built from the exact same materials. And this isn't just some pie-in-the-sky dream. It's happening right now, all over the world. In Bogotá, a visionary mayor made public transit desirable with high-quality, sexy red buses. Paris has famously ripped out urban freeways and turned them into parks and public beaches, giving the riverfront back to the people. And even in American suburbs, everyday people are hacking their streets for block parties and farmers markets, reclaiming them for human connection. Ultimately, the most hopeful message is this: the city that is fair is also the city that is happy. And that city is also green and low carbon. They are all the same place. And the best part? It's a place we can all help build right where we are. So it leaves you with a question, doesn't it? What's one change that could make your neighborhood just a little more accessible?